Hey.
Hey.
Oh, I can hear you.
How you going?
Yeah, all right,
Not
man.
too bad. Not too bad at all.
All right, age old question. How the fuck do you start the video? Oh,
It's
yeah, got it.
You're done, man. You're fucking in.
You're in the room.
Hey, how you going?
Yeah, man. All good. All good. It's
How's it going, man?
fucking
You okay?
freezing.
Yeah, all good, man. Just in a McDonald's car park, ready to podcast.
Rocking fucking road.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, then I don't think we don't need to do that. You don't need the introduction anymore. You're old
No.
hat at this. You've been
We're
on
in.
before. You've been on before, and you're kicking off your own stuff, really, in a way. We'll get to that in a little bit. How are you doing today, anyway?
Yeah, good, man. We're going for it. We're going straight in.
We can do, yeah.
Where
we
are
go.
you?
Just
Are
a
you in
spit is
Melbourne
all
at the
I've
moment,
ever
yeah?
used before.
What's that?
Just a bit of spit is all I've ever used before. I'm happy going in, right?
It's the only way. All right. How you going, guys? What's going
Yeah,
on?
We
good,
don't have.
man.
Should we do an intro for it? Would you prefer it to would it
Whatever you guys want to do.
So, are you in Melbourne at the moment, here?
Yeah, back in Melbourne. Yeah, just stayed in the band last night. Back to reality. Back to work, mountain boarding, trying to make some vids. Yeah, that's about it, really.
You had a busy fucking summer, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it was technically winter, but yeah, it was pretty hectic. I started it by driving around Australia in the van, and then I came back, and then flew to Europe, hung out with you guys, flew to America, and came back. So that was probably 3 months or so of traveling,
Nice. I mean, we're going
maybe a
to
bit
that
longer.
in a little bit more detail there because I noticed about half hour ago that you've dropped a new video covering that exact topic, which I've
Yeah.
got about. I got a lot. I can't lie. I've gotten about 5 minutes into because I just didn't have time to watch it all before recording this. But obviously that'll be.
I managed to squeeze it in. I've got your back, Dylan. What a prick he is.
Oh, you're a real friend, Slogs.
Doing his homework.
Which makes a fucking change for me.
No,
Well, you've had an
I
extra
feel
night, haven't you?
privileged.
You've had an extra night. Normally we record on a Monday evening, but this week it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
The Slog
It's an extra day to do absolutely
soup run.
possible.
Did you do your soup run last
Cheeky
night?
Tuesday.
No, there was no soup run this week. But last night we went out for Claire's Christmas do, work's Christmas do.
Nice. Get drunk?
Yeah, pretty fucking wasted. Yeah, it was good. It was a good night.
Nice.
Anyhow, so look,
Oh, we had a game with them.
you
No,
came
go on.
in dealing with us almost a year ago now. If this goes out chronologically, this will be episode 49.
Wow.
So we've had a couple of weeks off apparently throughout the year.
Yeah.
The Dirt is now over a year old. And we thought it was
Wow. Congratulations.
yeah. Thank you very much. We thought it was about time, being one of mountain boarding's busiest people, that we got you back in and had a bit of a catch up, really, because this last year seems to have I mean, every year you seem to get bigger and better and badder and whatever you choose to do, and this year seems to be no different. Certainly with the release of the Dylan Warren Mark III Gen 3, that's now available in Australia and US yet, or on pre-order, or what's state of play with that?
So pretty much you can essentially pre-order it. Like, you can sign up to a wait list. So when they are available in your country, I think MBS like emails you and you can buy it. There's only like, yeah, so you don't miss out essentially. The last board sold out quite a few times actually, so you kind of want to get on that wait list and make sure you don't miss out because this board is pretty good.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a little roll round on Eamon's earlier on this year, and I got to say it was lush. It really was lush.
Oh, that's awesome.
Haven't tried the new Matrix 3s, so
yeah,
I can't pass judgment on that. But the deck alone on the Matrix 2 felt absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it definitely feels a lot different to any other mountain board in a good way. It's good to see MBS pushing the sport again and making new products.
Yeah. Did you have much of a hand in the design part of that, or were you just involved more in the R&D sort of the actual?
Yeah, I mean, every time we do a board, it's always a bit different, but this one in particular, Joel sort of had a direction he wanted to go in, and yeah, and I obviously just gave him all the information, like what I like. It pretty much I just tell him all the things I want in a board and what I like about a board, and then he designs it to that. So yeah, we knew we wanted to go back to it, composite construction, and yeah, there's a few things I wanted to change from the last board, and yeah, it was kind of good for opportunity to, because it's the hardest thing when you make mountain boards is you've got to create a mold, and you need to use that mold so many times to get your money's worth. So we were creating a new mold and new technology, so it was a perfect time to get all the extra things I wanted into this new deck. So the deck's a bit wider. Obviously, you probably all seen the videos by now, but you can adjust the hell out of it, you know, in terms of where your trucks sit and your bindings sit. And yeah, stiffer. The actual, when you pop on that board, it behaves in a different way to the last one.
Oh man, you see it,
so yeah,
getting some mad pop on that thing. Like
yeah, totally
fucking boosting. It's incredible.
Yeah, I had this moment in Compiègne where I was running one of the jumps there, and it was like the first time I really thought, wow, this board, like, it's not often the actual, like, the board affects your riding. It's normally your skill or your strength or whatever, but I could actually feel the board popping me higher off one of these jumps, and I was like really conscious of that. And that was the first time, like, damn, this actually makes a huge difference how much extra more pop you can get out of the board generated just popping off a lip of a jump. So that was really cool. I'm really happy about that.
Something we didn't touch on, we probably should have done with Joel and Jason in there, is also alongside the release of your new board is the release of a new Comp 9.5.
Yeah,
that is a damn sexy looking board as well. You know,
yeah,
talk about hitting it out of the park. Yeah, it's the new shape,
sick.
The new shapes. I love the ball nose on yours. And you know that wider, girthier look to the 9.5 as well looks sick. I see that is that a continuation of the wood ply design as opposed to like your carbon or your composite as such.
Yeah, it's it's still got an asymmetrical concave. It's quite similar to the last DW2. But it's wider and the perimeter shape's different, and the flex is different too. So it's a really sick board. Joel just rides that board all the time as his normal board. It's a really good board for someone who potentially doesn't have the budget to get the DW3, but still wants a really good board. Like, you'll still be able to ride that board and do double backflips on it. It's really a really good board.
Oh, completely. I mean, the sum of parts on it is incredible. I mean, there is no real weak link in it as such. It might well be a cheaper board, but you know, you've got your the Matrix 3 and the F5, you know, your F5 bindings and stuff like that. So your board connection and the way that handles is still going to be the same. If you've still got all the movement of the truck positionings on that 9.5 as well, or is that just sold
No,
for the reserve for the
yeah,
demo?
yeah. So, well, the other, I think, well, you can still flip the truck, like the Matrix 3 truck on the Comp 95. So you could adjust the wheelbase by flipping the entirety of the truck. And then you still also have the adjustability in the truck, which is huge.
Yeah.
But you just don't have that option to move it. I can't remember what it is, maybe a centimeter or two.
Yeah.
The whole truck on the deck is fixed position. But there's still by flipping the truck, you still have wheelbase options, which is really cool.
Happy days. Oh man. I don't know how I can justify another couple of boards, but I'm sure the justification
you can always do it,
when
mate.
comes out when they come out.
Yeah.
We're getting drip fed this for so long. It's like building up this relationship of something that you just can't have at the moment. But when it comes, it's going to be amazing. Like tantric mountain boarding.
Yeah. Dude, you just got to start writing these things off as a tax expense. Now you have a business, the dirt. Now you can justify it. You got to buy it for work.
Oh, that could work, couldn't it? That really could potentially. Just need an online shop for some merch and stuff.
Yeah.
There's
a little Squarespace site. Boom.
There's an idea. So, yeah, we saw you riding that this summer, as we said earlier, and that was partway through your tour. How long have you been testing that board for now?
Damn, almost 2 years.
I was going to say we saw it. We saw it at the background of the original episode.
Yeah.
I remember asking because I'd seen Joel riding it, and I remember asking you about it, and I think you very rapidly sort of moved on to the next sort of part of it. Like, I can't say it yet.
Almost. I've been testing it for almost 2 years. I think it was almost in lockdown when I was testing it, and it's funny. I had this complex where I was like riding my current board and I was riding that new board, and I had to try and like get used to riding both. So I was like riding both kind of in secret, and then it was like got to a point where I'm like, I can't post anything of me riding this board because otherwise people are gonna know like what's up. And and then Joel started riding it, and he was riding it a lot too, actually. So it's really cool. Like MBS, like we do test the hell out of all these boards. Like I don't know if there's any other company that's tested a deck for 2 years. Like this thing is gonna be it's well dialed in. So I think you guys will like it.
Oh yeah, man. All the testing that you've been doing, we see Joel smashing up the new rims.
Yeah.
Like, oh no!
Yeah.
That's unobtainium you're smashing up there.
Yeah, I know. I said to him, like, sure you want to do this? He's like, yeah. I think he cut it. Well, he cut a board, one of the new boards, in one of the other tech talks. I'm like, you're losing it, Joel. Lost your mind.
Oh man, that's good. So this board is obviously it's been on tour with you. Let's delve a little bit back into this tour that we mentioned earlier. You got your van. You started doing your van.
So should I take you back?
Take it back to the fucking start.
I'll take you back to the start of the year, okay? And we'll go from there. So in lockdown last year, I bought this ambulance that I'm in right now, and you might have seen it on my previous podcast with the dirt. And I pretty much gutted the whole thing, and over 6 months I converted it into a camper van. I did a lot of it at Craig's factory. I refer to him and his factory as the Craigos factory of doom. He actually builds motorhomes for a living, and he's a mountain boarder as well. So I'd go there every day and, punch out 10 hours on it, or after work, after riding. And, eventually I finally got it finished. And then I literally finished going in the last panel, chucked all my shit in here, and then I drove around Australia. So it was like the middle of winter. It was super cold. And I sort of started on the coast of Victoria, and I was like, fuck this, I got to get higher. It's too cold. So I drove up to Canberra, and Canberra's the capital of Australia. So I was there for a couple of days and just skated. We got one of the biggest skate parks in Canberra. So I went there and did some mountain boarding.
Incredible for skateboarding, actually. But
yeah.
From memory, it's so flat and, you know, fresh concrete everywhere, it seems.
Yeah, like everyone goes and does skate trips in Canberra. Like I used to do a bit of video work for a few skate companies here in Melbourne, and we did a couple of tours up to Canberra, because you can pretty much skate all the street spots and no one really cares what you do there. It's great. As opposed to if you go skating here in Melbourne, it's a bit red hot, you get kicked out a lot easier. So I love that place. And the cool thing about that is there's actually a mountain there, and there's a mountain bike park. So went and rode that, went and hiked it, and got some fun, you know, just like not single trail, but just mountain bike trail where you go as fast as you can and you can jump stuff. And yeah, I really like riding that stuff lately, just going fast and just ripping berms and doubling, trying to see what you can jump, and it's the best fun.
And are you, with this, were you aiming to hook up with other riders on route, or are you riding this solo? I mean, you've got a fair skate network, that's for sure, around you, I should imagine. But mountain boarding, I'm assuming, are you trying to hook up with other were you trying to hook up with other mountain boarders on your tour?
I don't think I did on this trip at all. I mean, the whole plan for me was just to do it all by myself and just kind of put myself out there and challenge myself. And I didn't see any mountain boarders for the whole time, or I didn't even really. Well, yeah, I don't even know how many skaters I met up with, but for the most part, it was just honestly me driving around with a tripod or a selfie stick with a 360 camera or a drone, just filming myself by myself every day.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
it's dedication.
Yeah, it's a good challenge. Yeah.
And so, how long were you on the road for?
All up, it was about a month. So, and it was like that point in time where the war just started and all the fuel prices were starting to, obviously not as bad as Europe or whatever, but it was, the highest we've seen here in Australia. So I'm I probably did 15,000 kilometers, and man, the fuel bill hurt every time.
I bet.
Yeah, it's a big old fucking country over there. I remember living in a van over there for a year.
So and your aim was to get to the big red rock in the middle to do a board show.
Yeah, so I went from Melbourne and Canberra to Sydney, and then from Sydney to Queensland. I've got family in Queensland, and so I went and saw them and went skating and went to all the beautiful beaches out there. And then it took me 4 days to drive from Queensland, which is on the coast near the top of Australia, through to the middle of Australia into Alice Springs. It was it was such a wild drive. You're just driving for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers dead straight. It's just red dirt everywhere. You can't see past, you can only see the horizon. There's just nothing. And you come up against these road trains, and the road trains are 10, 20, 30 meters long, and you're trying to overtake them doing 130, and you're I hope no other cars coming because this thing's so fucking long. You just gotta chart. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And just so much wildlife and stuff out there. There was this cool moment where I was driving past this, I drove past thousands of dead kangaroos, but there was this one dead kangaroo in the middle of the road, and there was 4 wedge-tail eagles just eating it. It was so meat. It was so metal. It was gnarly.
They're getting close for the album cover shot.
Yeah, exactly. So I did this huge 4-day drive and then got into Alice Springs, which is literally the center of Australia, the real outback experience. And I met up with a person there Luke, he has a an adventure sports store there, and he does a lot of mountain board programs with the community there, the Indigenous community. So it turned into a pretty big event. Like, I was kind of like, oh, this guy's coming from Melbourne, this pro mountain boarder, and he's going to teach the community how to mountain board. So they full marketed it and everything. It was this big thing. They had like signs on the side of the road, and I was like, damn, what have I got myself into?
Welcome,
The keys to the city.
Yeah. So we like, they got sponsors and stuff, and they got this local skate park builder to build all these ramps, and we built a couple of ramps off like the back of trailers and stuff. And we did 2 days. The first day we did it at like inside the library, so we just did a small group of kids, and then the following day it was at the back of the library, and we had like 200 kids come through, and taught a bunch of people how to mountain board, and it was a really good experience. And hopefully next year we're going to do a much bigger version of that. So I'm working that out at the moment. But that was super cool. So I spent like a week there, maybe a bit less.
Good to be getting fresh blood in the sport, because that's what it needs more than anything else at the moment.
Totally.
And that is something that we didn't touch on your last episode. That I think deserves some airtime and some credit here, really, and that's Australian mountain boarders, which I believe is. I mean, you explain what Australian mountain boarders is and what you've been bringing to the Australian communities, and the demo shows and stuff like that. Because it's a bit separate to the MBS, is it not?
Yeah. Well, that lesson we did was really cool. That was like with Australian mountain boarders, because not only was it just teaching average Australian kids how to mountain board and pick up a new sport, but we did a lot with the Indigenous community there too, which they have no opportunity, and unfortunately they have a lot of trouble there. So it was cool to get them involved and give them something to potentially get involved in and take further. And it was really cool. But we started Australian Mountain Boarders in 2010, and that was pretty much me wanting to just get the scene in Australia moving a bit more. And back then I would run these Beaconsfield Bash events, which was just these the little grass hill in my town, where I'd take a bunch of ramps over and set them up, and would like do a Facebook post, and all the mountain boarders in Melbourne would come and ride, and would do giveaways and stuff like that. But also all the kids in the community would hear about it and know about it, and they'd come down too. So would bring everyone would bring their spare boards, and everyone would just ride together, would have music and carry on. And we probably did, I don't know, 10 of these events over a couple of years, and it turned into a big thing. And it was really awesome. If anyone has the opportunity to do that in their town, it is so beneficial to growing your
completely
sport in your area.
That was the way
such a good grassroots.
The regional clubs in the UK back in the heyday. We had so many regional clubs, and that was exactly what would happen. They'd go down to places that weren't necessarily, or that were kind of had passing traffic, passing kids, parks and such, would take the spare boards in the hope that it would spark a bit of interest. And I think that's kind of what needs to happen a little bit more again, when we make these meets for us all to meet up and have a ride, then we should be marketing that more somehow to the newbie crowd, and or getting scout groups or whatever, and offering to meet up on a Sunday over at Cleve Hill or whatever, but that sort of community is what needs building again.
Totally. And now with with social media, like we didn't have that 10 years ago really. well, in mountain boarding in England with all the mountain board centers, when they were popping off, the social media thing wasn't big. Imagine the damage you could have done now with social media. It's so easy to get in touch with people rather than having to I don't even know what we did back then. You'd have to send them a postcard or whatever, advertise the local paper.
Fucking pigeon.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I guess what I want to say is like anyone can do that. It's so easy. Like you start with 3 people or 5 people, you bring one jump to the local park, you post a Facebook group, maybe you'll get 2 new people's coming, and then you do one 4 months later and maybe 10 people come, and it slowly snowballs. But all you have to do is just get started. That's what my whole thing is get off the couch and just go and do it. Because yeah, it over years it just turns into something. Like by the end of it, we probably had like 100 kids come down, which is huge just for a little grass hill. And that's the other thing too. It was literally just barely an incline. It's just a small grass hill, just enough speed that you can do a 360 off a jump. And by the end of it, we were like, me and my mates all just went over the top, and we were building like 4 platforms with handrails and big jumps and shit. And it was a full production. It was ridiculous, and everyone was just so exhausted. And yeah, I mean, to all the guys that used to help me put those events on, thank you so much. I mean, it literally wouldn't have been possible without you. But so we did that for years, but I guess it came to a point where it kind of got big, and the people and the neighbors that surrounded that park someone got pissed off about it and complained to the council. And the police actually came to my door and was like, you can't do this anymore. Without getting a permit. So I guess the moral of the story is just try and keep it small and do more of them. But or just do it in a place. Don't do it in a residential place where there's a bunch of houses. But so yeah, that was kind of the beginning of Australian mountain boarders. And then yeah, we do a bunch of ride days and lessons and stuff like that. But it kind of grew into this bigger thing where we started doing mountain board shows. So I can't remember what year, but Jason Salopek, his uncle, made a donation to Australian Mountain Boarders, which kind of kickstarted us and gave us a little bit of money to buy a trailer and start building the first version of the demo ramp. And same sort of thing, like Joel and I would be out there welding till 3 a.m. after work, and eventually we built this giant demo ramp, which was loosely like based off the American one, but the whole purpose of it was to make it way more rideable and not intimidating. So no matter what your skills are, you can ride the demo ramp. Because like at that point, a lot of my friends who were mountain boarding all rode street and did the whole street thing because we didn't have any mountain board parks. So that ramp was quite intimidating for them back then, so it allowed them to learn how to jump. And yeah, and then we started doing shows around the country, and yeah, so yeah, we started doing the stunt shows, and then also I started doing lessons, private and group lessons as well. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. And then we started the relationship with the ranch, where we started building the mountain board park there. And I kind of designed all their mountain board programs, and we started doing school groups there. And yeah, some weeks would teach 300 kids how to mountain board. So yeah, if I had to guess, I probably taught, I don't know, 5,000-10,000 people how to mountain board.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
It is a good feeling.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It is a really good feeling, and something that quite a few of us in the scene have done, over the years, is get involved in instructoring, or certainly in the UK.
Totally.
Get involved in instructing. There was quite a big demo scene. We used to run yearly competitions at National Adventure Sports Show, or not competitions, but like what you guys did with the little ramps, and just have a little kicker, mini kicker, and a ride on rail. And like half-hour turnaround, come learn to ride for half hour and get your board and gear.
we even done one at the Isle of Wight Music Festival as well.
Yeah, I remember seeing all that footage. That was such a sick ramp too.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's another one that sort of evolved. I think they did it at Bestival.
I went to that.
But yeah, I do hope that demos and learn to rides or try to rides, whatever you want to call them, those little sessions return in some way, shape, or form, because it is a great way of exposing vast numbers of the right age group to the sport.
Yeah,
Does that
totally.
make sense?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I think that's what scares people off. But
yeah, a lot of work.
You just got to start small.
Not a lot of financial reward either. That's for sure.
No, but yeah, the best thing I think Joel ever told me, I always did all these events for free and just all out of my own pocket. And he's like, you got to start charging people for lessons and stuff so it can grow and become something more. And that was the best advice I ever got. And the cool thing about the demo show is we kind of positioned it as to be like a band. It's like an act. So it's like both has the stunt show element where we do the tricks and stuff, and then after that we invite the crowd in, and then everyone learns how to mountain board for another 20 minutes. So it's a completely like for event organizers, they get excited about it because there's the show aspect and there's the actual they get to do it. So instead of going to a lot of festivals and stuff in Australia do freestyle motocross shows, and they're really impressive and hardcore, but it's just the show element. They don't get to ride the motorbike. So yeah, event organizers love us because we do the whole thing. So we actually get hired as an act. And I think that's been, a really smart move rather than
you just use
spending
the landing as the learn to ride sort of. The landing of your kicker as a roller, as a roll in for the people to learn on, or do you not?
Yeah, well, the first version we had a plywood landing, so we had actually built it was like a 1.2 meter flat deck on the landing. So we'd do a show on it, and then would put some steel handrails up, and then that would become a starting platform for kids to ride down the landing.
Yeah.
And then we also had a separate trailer which was like a meter off the ground, a super small one. So they kind of had a few options of going down a small one, and then when they get better, they upgrade to the big landing roll in. So that was in itself is very progressive. So the kids were pumped. And then if we liked them and thought they were really good, then we'd let them do a kicker. And so a lot of these shows we do, the kids would come to the first session like, oh my God, I just almost got to the big drop-in ramp, and then they come all day because they want to complete the whole circuit, which is really cool. So, but now we have an airbag landing, which is kind of thrown things into a bit of a twist because we kind of lose that extra drop-in ramp.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of in this position where I'm I've done a few designs, and I'm sort of thinking about trying to create an airbag landing that has a bigger tabletop on it, and some inflatable handrails, so we can try and bring that back where kids can ride down the landing. But I'm not too sure if that's the right thing because it's kind of hard to. I don't know if you ever rode an airbag, but they're actually kind of hard to ride through. Just because it moves up and down. So,
I mean, if you were to resi top it or something like that, would that make it any better? Do you think to ride down?
I think so. Yeah. But then that heavy stuff. I mean, sorry, that resi stuff is quite heavy, which is another factor I have to think about because I have to tow it all around the fucking country. So
you need one of them road
so many variables. I do. I need a road train. Yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those things. So we've got a separate trailer that we have a smaller ramp, and then for the last show we did in Sydney, we just improvised, and luckily there was a bit of a slope, so we didn't need much of a roll in. But yeah, it's something I've got to work out soon. But yeah, it's cool. We've got it. It's I've spent a small fortune on that ramp, but it's the show at the moment is so dialed in and so efficient, and we can pack it up and break it down really quick now. And yeah, it's a really sick little system. We've got like, there's a few things in the works for next year that I'm excited to
So
a few events to do.
who have you got riding this setup with you?
So normally our crew is me, Daniel Packer, Eddie Custiana, Nathan Paul, Jolie, Daniel Foreman normally does like the MC, and then Jason Salopek, but he just had a bunch of kids, so he hasn't been running as much. But that's normally sort of our crew, and then we have people to help us with the lessons. James Foster and Craig. Craig's a huge help. It's another thing, like all the boys put in so much work with that show, and it pays off because we do it really well.
Nice. Just while it's popping into my head, quick question for you. Talking of things that are in your arsenal of riding, your bungee. We don't see much bungee anymore, and only today I have been searching around, investigating bungees. I kind of like the thought of it. Are you still rocking a bungee? And if so, what bungee are you using, and how did you come across it? I know of a couple, Phil the Planet do a bungee, and Banshee bungees I've heard of. But I was just wondering, because somebody else, I think Mark Bishop from the UK, mentioned about bungees recently as well. But as it's on people's minds, where did you come across yours, and what, or did you make it, or what's the deal with it?
So I use a company called Banshee Bungee, and it's the 30-foot one. It's the big one. And they started, I don't know, 10 years ago. And I remember when they started, everyone was buying them. A lot of snowboarders use them. But unfortunately, they went out of business a few years ago. So I actually just broke mine recently, so I got to try and fix it somehow. Like one of the elastics actually snapped. But I'd been using that thing hardcore for like 10 years. So
you had your money's worth then.
Yeah, totally. I think it
didn't snap on you mid-run, did it, or nothing? Like,
well, it has like 3 weaves. So one of the weaves snapped when we were pulling it back. So it wasn't like it wasn't an issue because the other weave still had it, but it was a bummer. I'm like, fuck, how am I going to fix this? But Craig will fix it. Craig's the guy. Craig fixes all of my problems. So that's Banshee Bungee. So if you guys are trying to find, like, people ask me this millions of times, and I'm like, someone should try and bring back the company, because there is a demand for it. But if you can try and find one on eBay maybe, or Marketplace, or I don't know what you use in England, but Gumtree, you just have to get lucky. Craig and Nate Dogg they actually made their own one during lockdown, just from stuff they found at the hardware store, and they filmed a full video and everything, and they haven't posted it. So Craig, if you're watching this or listening to us, he'll be listening to this at work while he's working on the camper van. So you guys go and blow him up on Instagram and say, Craig, where's the tutorial? Because he films all these videos on his phone, he edits the whole thing, and it just sits on his phone. He doesn't post them. And every time I see him, I'm abused him about this. So now I'm exposing him in front of the world. So now he has to post them.
I say, come on, Craig, get your vids
Come
out.
on, Craig. Yeah, you'll love that. He listens to the show every week in the factory while he's working on camper vans. So you guys are doing a good thing.
Nice, big up.
Yeah. He's 53 and doing 360s. He's killing it. So they made this bungee and it works, but I think they were saying it needs the actual bungee material needs to be thicker, because they don't generate enough speed. So we've got a wakeboard winch too, is the other thing we use a lot. It's like a petrol homemade wakeboard winch. You like pull the rope out like 200 feet or whatever, and then Honda motor sort of pulls you in, and that goes really fast.
I bet. Makes a hell of a noise.
Yeah.
It's way noisier than the bungee.
Yeah. So that's sort of the pros and cons. The bungee is good for when you're jumping into a school and you're hitting a street spot. It's, you can lift it. It's not too heavy. It's quiet. And that's the downfall of the winch. It's super heavy, super big, it needs fuel, and it's loud as fuck. So it makes it a bit harder to, break an enter with. You got this huge winch.
Not an easy fucking barge.
Yeah. But there is this cool, I had a meeting with these guys from, I think they're from Holland, and they're called Re-Winch, and now they're making an electric version, which is the size of like an A4 piece of paper. And it's a full electric system, and I reckon that would be the ideal setup, but they're like, a couple of €1,000. They're pretty expensive. So I think that's the next thing I'll probably invest in.
Now, it would be remiss of us not to talk about some of your European and US visit here as well. But I know we've got a few questions in, and in a change up from here on, Slogs is going to be in the questions, the viewers, the readers' wives, because I waffle on enough.
Yeah, but I can't do it because you sent it to me on my phone, and I'm watching you two on my phone. So you're still gonna have to do it, Dan.
What do I fucking pay you for?
Yeah.
Hey, you pay me for fucking.
Oh no, now he's sideways. Hey, Slogs, I like that board on the top of your roof there.
Yeah, he's a beauty, isn't he?
Yeah, it fits perfectly out there. I like how you have to angle your phone screen to get it in the shot. Yeah, I can see it.
Thank you.
There it is. Beautiful.
Thank you very much for
your absolute fucking belt. I was so chuffed with them. I was like a fucking child.
Yeah, sick. Which one did you get, Slugs? Is yours the
I got the So 16 one.
Nice.
Yeah. It was quite good because Dan wanted that one, and we both had one we wanted. We didn't even have to fight over them.
Sick.
I think we both like the graphic on the bottom of Slogs' one, but because all of my boards are in the background are displayed horizontally, I couldn't. It had to be that one for me, and Slogs with his room, it had to be the horizontal one. Perfect.
Oh, that's good, because when I was designing it, I'm like, oh shit, should I do it so it's landscape or vertical? But I'm glad I did both because it's worked out.
Yeah, absolutely stoked with them.
Sick.
You got these questions then, Dan?
I have got some questions. I'm looking at the time thinking, Jesus, and we're cracking on. And man, we've got so many, Dylan.
Oh god, let's go.
It's ridiculous.
I'll do them quick.
We'll do it, a quick fire round. So the first one comes in from Mowgli, and
nice.
From Portugal, of which you had a trip over to there, and I'm sure there's probably a good 20-minute section on Portugal alone that we could fill.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
But his question is, first of all, he says he hopes you're feeling good. What is your next destination? Where is Lemmy the van taking you to?
Oh, good question. So on that trip, I kind of went up the east coast of Australia to almost the top, and then I kind of went into the middle and then came down to South Australia back to Melbourne. So now I want to do the opposite and go through South Australia and do all of Western Australia and then come back down the guts to do the other half. So Western Australia, it's a bit more wild out there, and they have the most beautiful beaches. But I have I don't know where my phone is, but I had this image of this wave rock on my phone for the last year, and I want to go ride there. It's this beautiful natural wave rock, kind of like
I think I have
Uluru or
seen.
Moab.
I know the exact image that you talk of. I've seen it before in Australia and wondered if it could ever be ridden. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually ride it so far, but
I've seen someone skate it, but I want to mountain board it. I mean, that's just like the ultimate photo, I think, is doing a frontside air on that thing. It'd be sick.
oh shit, yeah.
So that's the plan. Hopefully January or something like that, I'll be able to head over that way.
Happy days. Let's move straight on. Next one comes in from your boy, T Raven 4000, cousin of Andre, cousin of Andre 3000 from
Yeah.
Travis. He sent in a few here, so we'll work from.
Oh God.
Quick fire ones for you.
Yep.
What's the hardest trick
Yep.
what's the hardest you've ever had to work for a trick, and were you filming it? Or what's the hardest you've ever had to work for a trick you were filming? Sorry.
Fucking questions.
What's the biggest battle, basically?
I just actually posted an Instagram post about it a couple of weeks ago. It was that board slide along that really long concrete harbor thing. And it took me 3 days straight of going there for 6 hours at a time. And the footage really doesn't do it justice of how long it is. It's like, I don't know, 30 meters long, but it's I couldn't slide it all the way. I kept getting almost to the end and either falling off either side, or it was an absolute nightmare. I was just black and blue everywhere from falling on the concrete every time. And I did it 2 days, and then on the third day I finally landed it, and it was the best day of my life. So probably that, or that in hashtag it was like my last trick. I did a switch 540 off this cliff, and the first time I tried it for a couple of hours and kept zinging out, and then I ended up knocking myself out pretty bad. And then I sort of spent the weekend in bed, like I couldn't get out of bed. It was horrible. And then on the Monday I went back and landed it, so that one hurt a lot more probably.
Rah. His second question follows that up with, what's the scariest trick you have ever tried to do? Was it potentially one of those, or was there one that was scarier?
Ooh, I mean, he's probably a better question for him. He films all my tricks. He probably knows what I'm scared. Probably one of those, or like, I don't know, just thinking back to that video part in particular, because that one was pretty gnarly. I don't know, I did like this gap to a kink rail, like a gap to 5.0. That was pretty scary.
I gotta say, some of the
know.
handrails have got to be pretty scary at times.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're doing on that handrail or whatever, but yeah, some of them look good. Which is scarier, heading into the rail, going onto it backside or front side on 50-50?
I think with the 50-50, probably backside 50-50 is scarier, but recently I feel like I'm doing them better, more consistently. If that makes any sense. So probably backside, because your back's against the rail. You have more potential to fall on your back, I guess.
So he's got another couple here. Again, quick ones. Who inspires your style and tricks the most? And it can be from anywhere, whether that be skating, snowboarding, whatever.
For me, it's definitely like skateboarders. I watch a lot of skateboarding, and that's probably influences how I mountain board the most, to be honest. Probably someone like Dakota Servold, or there's so many skateboarders today, it's insane. Probably Dakota Servold. He does a lot of rails. Any of the big rail skaters, that's my favorite stuff to watch.
Nice. How badly do you want a cigarette?
Never.
And last question from him: when's the next video part coming out? Surely that should be a question that
Surely
you'd be
it's a
giving to
question.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, Trav's awesome. He's the most motivated filmer I've ever known. He like finds all the spots. He like hits me up every week. Where are we going this weekend? Says we have a shared thing on our phone where we have all the spots we want to hit, and it's very much a team effort. But yeah, we're planning on releasing a new video part next year. It was going to be this year, but I ended up traveling a bunch and didn't film anything good. So yeah, next year we've got about, I don't know, 20 tricks filmed already, if I had to guess. Yeah, I don't know when. I don't know if anyone noticed, but we like in that in my new board that in that YouTube video that promoted my new board with all my traveling around Australia, there's like a little Melbourne section at the end, and I like wrote on the blackboard like new video part coming 2023. I don't know if anyone noticed that. It was a little Easter egg.
I didn't.
It was
I
a little
didn't
quick.
know. I'm going to go back and rewatch that now just to find out
Yeah.
that sort of geek.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully sometime next year. We've been working on it the last couple of years, and yeah, I'm just trying to put really like stuff I'm proud of in the video, and I'm trying to write unique spots and make it very mountain board-esque street video. Or I might even have some jumps in it. I'm not sure, but yeah, something to look forward to.
Talking of your recent trip to MBS, Don Baker has asked about your first ever trip to the US. When was your first ever trip to the US?
It was 2010. And yeah, I just did a trip around Europe and England, and then I flew across to, I think I flew into California, and yeah, we did a mountain board demo for MBS out there. So yeah, it was, visiting America for the first time was pretty overwhelming. It's like stimulation overload. It's very full on. Yeah, just
It's mental, isn't it?
yeah, like the first time I landed in the US, here's a story for you. First time I landed in the US, those dudes picked me up at the airport and we started driving towards the mountain board show, and I think it was Kevin Delaney. He for some reason we got started talking about guns, and they're like, "Oh, do you guys have guns in Australia?" And I'm like, "Oh, not really. We don't really do that." He's like, "What? You never shot a gun?" I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't." And he's like, "All right then." So he like pulls over and like we like do an hour detour back to his house, and he like goes and gets his gun out of his house and brings it out, and it's like this huge gun case. I'm like, what has this guy got? He like comes in, opens the car door, just drops it on my lap, got this full assault rifle on my lap, and then we like drive what seemed like 15 minutes down the road. We just like pull off the side of the road. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna teach you how to shoot a gun." And we're just like, just fucking assault rifle just firing on the side of the road into the wilderness. Like it was something out of the movie. It was like, "Welcome to America." I was like, "Ah!" Me and Nikki were like 18. Nikki's like super skinny, you can barely like hold it up, like, like this. It was so funny. But yeah, I love that place. It's so much fun. America gets a bad rap, but it's so much fun. But the landscape itself is absolutely stunning. I've never seen landscape like there is in, you know, the desert of America or you know, the mountains of Colorado. It's absolutely beautiful, and the wildlife, oh my god, it's insane.
Yeah. Next question, Emlyn, your boy Emlyn is hey Dylan, my old mucker, thank you for all you do for mountain boarding. What kind of tricks would you like to see more of, and which tricks would you like to do more of? So I think is he looking for some sort of guidance here as the back on the MVS team? What do you want to see us doing here, Dylan?
Far out. Well, I think for me personally, I want to see more people riding street See a lot of people riding skate parks, but I think people should, learn how to do tricks in the skate park and then go and do them in the street.
Yeah.
Film video parts. That would be really sick to see.
I think at the moment in the UK as well, because of the weather over here, everyone's just gone indoors.
Totally. But, I don't love mountain boarding at the skate park. I'd rather skate, but once a week we go to the indoor skate park just to practice, essentially. Like, they got a resi there. You can learn tricks on the resi ramp. And then there's also I think by now the latest Warren Weekly will be out, and the episode's shot there, and it's about how to board slide. So you can see where we normally go every week, once a week, just to train. And there's a resi box you can learn tricks on, and then there's also a progressive rail system where you can learn tricks on different size rails, which is super beneficial. Something I've been thinking about a lot is you need to mountain board at least once a week to stay confident with the tricks you already have, and then anything after that you can learn tricks and then work on that. The confidence thing is huge.
Yeah.
But his question was, what tricks do I want to see? More people hitting rails for sure. But for Eamon and Emlyn, those dudes just got to ride the mountain board park, ride at Bugs. I just want to see mountain boarders want to see people mountain boarding at mountain board parks, and people should support them.
Yeah.
The mountain board parks, because there's only so many of them at the moment.
That's it.
And free ride. What I want to see is more people going out into it's a bit harder maybe in Europe, but in America, going out into the beautiful mountain ranges they have and riding some of those big dirt runs in Grand Junction and all that. You don't really that kind of era of Down and Dirty 1 and 2. They rode a lot of that stuff, those big little Alaska runs, power sliding through all the dirt and riding all that sort of shit. I want to see that come back. You don't really see that at all anymore.
No. So just gnarly free riding is on the back burner a little bit. But I mean, that said, it's that time of year that sort of stuff happens in the UK, but it doesn't have the backdrop of places like Grand Junction and things. It's more muddy dark woodlands in the pissing rain.
Yeah, but that's sick though. That's so true of mountain boarding in England. That's awesome.
We should put a quick pause in the viewer questions here, because you mentioned Warren Weekly there. And we had the last episode of that. I mean, we're recording now, was a week ago. You say you've got another one due to release, and by the time this goes out to the listeners, that probably will be out there by then. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about? How did that idea develop into this moving forward with, I'm going to put out with MBS a weekly digest of media for the community, really? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, obviously we've been doing this now a year, and I say Slogs, bless him, joins us for the episodes, but I say it's me doing it behind the scenes in the editing and such. But it's quite a big undertaking. It is a real big undertaking. Is it something that you envisage going on long term, or is this a short series thing that you're going to do for a while, or what's your thoughts about Warren Weekly? What can we expect from it in the future?
Well, that's a great question, and something I wanted to talk about. The only way, if people like the Warren Weekly videos and they want to see it continuing, the only way it's going to continue is if they watch the videos and comment and and we really need to see the series growing for it to continue going. So it's when we say comment on the video and watch the video and share it, we actually mean that, because that's the only way we can justify continuing to do it. So just to give you guys an idea, like that first episode I shot took me 8 hours to film, and then probably almost as long just to edit it. So call it, I don't know, just 14 hours being kind of creating just that one episode. It's a lot of time. And like, I'm quite time poor as it is. So, it's a huge undertaking, but if you want to see it continuing, you need to really support it. And that's true of like the mountain board company as well. Like, you need to go, like, people need to support mountain board companies and buy new gear. Like, it doesn't have to be a new board, but like parts and stuff like that. Like, if you want to see mountain boarding grow, you need to support the mountain board companies, whether it's Tramper or Hero or MBS. Like, there's only so many mountain board companies, and people need to support them and not talk shit about them and whatever. Like, this is real. Like, there's only so many companies, and everyone just needs to push.
It's a great fucking shout, that is, Dylan.
Yeah, so the goal with Warren Weekly is pretty much to essentially like have a bit of a vlog. Like, people can talk to me, and I just want to have a relationship with the audience and report a bit of news, kind of keep people updating with what's happening at MBS with the team and Jason and Joel, the sort of the directors at MBS, and just a weekly update to, maybe get people excited each week to see mountain boarding every week, and hopefully grow it and it continue to be something bigger. And I mean, it's only the second episode, so if anyone ever has any ideas how to make it better, or segments we can put in it, or what you guys want to see, just comment it and let us know, because I'm just making this up out of the top of my head every week. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we really liked it when we've talked about it. I think there have obviously been MBS have done little tutorials and bits before over the years and stuff like that, but having it a bit more interactive in the modern day, like say, with social media, the way that it is, the ability to comment on it, these things that we're doing, if people made more comments on the dirt, then they might see more evolution of it. So and it is our opportunity as a community to be able to help you shape what we're seeing and what we're hearing and stuff like that. Same with the role situation. Same with and same with AT Boarders that are putting out a lot of content and stuff like that. All of it helps, and I hate to say it, but you're right, when you're putting those comments in the bottom of there, or just clicking a like on YouTube. I mean, people scroll down Instagram and click a like on loads of shit all the time, but it's harder to get a like on YouTube. But all those algorithms that make you see stuff, they all work, and they work based upon whether you're getting those likes or those subscribers or comments and all that sort of stuff. So, not only are you helping to shape the program, you're helping to grow the program.
Yeah, and it's the program you watch every week, so it's such minimal investment for the viewer to write a comment. It takes you literally a second, or to share it on your Facebook feed, and what that does is so much for the Dirt Podcast or MBS or whoever to help it grow and sustain. Sustain is the big topic of the week. Sustainability of YouTube videos. Because we all love to watch, and we all get upset when there's no content to watch, and we all don't go mountain boarding because there's nothing to motivate us. Well, this shit happening now, and you guys need to support it, is what is happening. It's the time to shine, guys. You asked for it. It's all happening.
Fingers.
Get your fingers, do some finger push-ups. So every week we're posting a new Warren Weekly, and the way it works is the audience gets to decide what the next video is about. So all you have to do is write a comment of what you want to see in the next video. Maybe it's like a trick request, but maybe it's like, what do you think of the future of mountain boarding, Dylan? And I'll make a whole video about that. Or what's your favorite mountain board obstacle, or what's your favorite type, whatever. It can be anything mountain board related. I'll choose my favorite one. The next week, I'll make a video about it. And then we'll have a little interview with a team member, interview with Jason or Joel, and also the rider of the week. The rider of the week is what I'm excited about the most, because I want people to film mountain boarding every week. It's so easy to do. And we don't need anything crazy at a mountain board park, but we just want to see people riding. So the rider of the week is an opportunity for riders anywhere in the world to send us your clips. We'll watch them all, and then we'll choose the best one to be the rider of the week. And then at the end of the month, we're going to have a rider of the month and then give away prizes. So the whole idea behind that is just to get people out mountain boarding every week, filming their stuff, getting better. And when you're the rider of the week, everyone in the world gets to see your mountain board footage, which is pretty sick. If you put your Instagram name in your email, then we'll include that as well and promote you a little bit. So
what's the email address, Dylan?
It's social@mbs.com.
Nice. Well, I hope he does forward this clip on, but this is my clip of the week here.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Alex Bishop's Take a Bow.
Yeah, dude. I can't do that. Nose manuals are so hard that long. You gotta get. Yeah, some people can just do it so well.
Yeah, John Derber, he was another one who could do one.
Oh yeah,
he could do nose manuals far away, and he could do nose manuals close up. He was that good.
Yeah. You should interview him.
We should
interview John Derber.
Hey,
he's hilarious.
I tell you what, we've got a really interesting one coming up next. Brandon Good.
Awesome.
So
he's a great guy, dude. He's a legend.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to that. We should jump back onto the questions because we're not. I've come away from them. We're going to come back in with Nash.
For good reason, though.
Yeah, for very good reason. This one comes in from Nash's board, or from UK, aka UK Mountain Boarding. He's been sharing the Stoke for years, kind of lowbrow.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I've given it away for anybody, but most people know who he is now. But his question is quite simply put: is it even mountain boarding if your hat doesn't fall off?
Oh my god! If I had $1 for every time someone has commented on one of my videos, something to the effect of, "Oh my god, his hat fell off," I'd be a billionaire. My friend of mine, Billy, he has a podcast as well, called The Couch Cowards, and they do like spooky stories and stuff. But he wants to do an episode of just reading all my YouTube comments. And one day we did it for fun, just because we were getting pissed. But it was crazy how many comments were just about my hat falling off. It just blows people's mind. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I just can't get a hat to stay securely on my head, and no one has made me a hat strap yet, so I'm screwed.
A chin strap.
Yeah.
A chin strap hat. Exactly.
A little protective bit for your chin.
A little elastic band.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm gonna have to apologise here to Ali Kano, because we did touch on this already earlier, but I thought Slogs was doing the questions at the time, so blame Slogs, Ali. He says, he does ask if you've ridden a new 9.5, and if so, what differences does it have to the new DW3? So Ali, I'm sorry about that. Skip backwards again if you missed it when you were listening for the first time.
Well, I can answer it for him. A, it's cheaper, it's more affordable. B, it's the concave is in the board, so the board has asymmetric concave similar to the last one, which feels awesome. I still really love that board. It's such a good board. But yeah, so the Cop 95 is a little bit wider than the DW3, and it's a really good board. The price it's a great board. So if you want to get it, definitely get that one. DW3 has a bit more better technology in it, but you're still going to get a great board with a Comp 95.
Which one is going to be, if you had to say which one is preferable for doing natter spins on, what would you do?
Oh, don't know. That's hard. Maybe the DW3 because we've got like a PBT later on the bottom. It's better for slides and stuff, and it's flat, so it might be a bit easier for him to balance on the pivot point.
You can
Dude, we posted a video of Ali on the MBS Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and it went viral. It's got like a couple 100,000 views.
Really?
Yeah, it was like that one. It's that video of him like he rides up a tree and kind of like pushes off with his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the weirdest stuff that goes viral. Like I've had so many videos that go viral, but it's always from doing just dumb stuff. Like it's never anything I'm proud of, and I'm like doing a really hard trick. It's always just like I've got this one video that always goes super viral of me. It's like I get bungeed into this quarter pipe in this abandoned warehouse, and I do like a shit backflip, and my hat falls off. So like my friend runs out, Jaden runs out with the bungee, and he's wearing my hat. And then he puts the hat on my head. I get shot in with the bungee. I do a backflip. The hat flies off. And then I land the backflip and run over the hat again. And if I had to guess, like over all the different social media channels, that video would have accumulated at least 250 million views. Like it's insane. Yeah, it's insane.
Weird,
That's insane.
Yeah.
Some good use of hashtags there.
It's not even the hashtags. I think it's just like
Hashtag
people like yeah. The whole psychology of social media is so interesting to me, and what people find interesting. Like I'm at a point now where I'm trying to like post stuff that reaches a large audience that anybody can understand and watch, and it's interesting trying to figure that all out. As opposed to just, like mountain boarders know what they want to see, like cool tricks and stuff. But how do you make content that any normal person who with no understanding of mountain boarding can watch and then maybe get inspired to get into mountain boarding?
Yeah. Oh, completely. I mean, I
don't know if that makes sense.
Unlocking the box, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. So hard.
I'm learning with
the
editing of doing that similar thing, and it took when we did the bottoms up edit.
Yeah,
I'd sort of showed it to Ted and Eamon and that the original what I'd done, and the first thing that the pair of them both said was, "Yeah, we all know what you're doing on it, but how does anybody else know? Who isn't already a mountain boarder? So yeah, you're definitely on the right track there, and it's something that I've had to take on board. Eamon's particularly good at it because he's trained in doing it. Anyhow,
yeah. Just a sidebar. How good was Eamon and Emlyn's welcome to MBS team video? I was so impressed. It was so obviously it was an amazing edit itself, but the writing was so good. They really went hard. It was really good. Awesome to see such a good.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I like when they put the rails down the top of the board across. I really enjoyed that little bit of little mix up. I really like that.
Yeah, totally.
And Eamon's just dropped the offcuts of the fails for the board slide down the 30.
Yeah.
30-foot one. So that was really good watching battle against that.
I saw Bugs put an edit on a comment on that, and it's not 30 foot.
I saw that too.
It's 48 foot or something.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah, man, you've done yourself out of 18 foot there, Eamon. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Eamon. He's too modest.
Yeah.
No, that
he says he's got a small penis.
Yeah, them boys are so creative in their riding. But
totally.
I don't think you could have. I mean, they've obviously been involved with MBS for years on the pro team there, and rightly so.
I mean,
Rightly so.
I think they're a good example of what it means to be sponsored in mountain boarding. Like, we don't necessarily care like what your competition results are or how big your tricks are. We want to see people that have good style and that are out there doing stuff all the time, making content, being productive, and Eamon and M1 do that really well.
They certainly do.
There's like that one shot of Eamon, like at the start of that video, where he just boosts the biggest backside shifty, and that was one of my favorite shots in the whole thing. It's like perfect, sick.
The air time off that last kicker at Bugs is just insane.
Yeah.
The size of the amplitude on that they're getting.
I mean, we'll probably get to that later, but riding those jumps again at Bugs, I was like, damn, I forgot how huge these things are.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to your tour here, because the next question is going to come in from Antonio. And
cool.
You went to Portugal after the UK, didn't you? Is that correct? Or before the UK?
Yeah. So do you want to like get into the story of like going to Europe? Or
yeah, let's nip that off.
Okay. So essentially I did this. So I was in the van, did this mountain board lesson in Alice Springs. And then I had like a couple of days to get back to Melbourne to fly to Paris. So I literally had to drive from the center of Australia back to Melbourne, which is, I can't remember how many kilometers, but it's like a 2-day drive. So I smashed it back to Melbourne, chucked the van off, and then got on a plane and then flew to Paris. And then one of my best friends, Alcon, which you guys got to meet, Alpal, he met me in Paris. And, a handful of years ago, Al came with me to Japan, and he met a bunch of mountain boarders there. So Al was already in Europe hanging out with all my mountain board friends. He went and did the NAS. No, is that what it's called?
Yeah, NAS.
Whatever
NAS
the festival is.
Sports show.
Is that what it is? The one in Amsterdam? Or am I getting that wrong?
No, NAS is the UK one, I think, isn't it?
UK one. Yeah, I'm getting that mixed up. I can't remember what there was this music festival in Amsterdam that Nikki and the Dutch mountain boarders do a mountain board show at. So Al actually was over there hanging out with them, partying, watching the mountain board show, carrying on. And then he came over and met up with me in Paris a week later. And we went to LA. We got a blah blah car to LA. And we obviously hadn't seen each other in a long time, so we got pretty drunk. And so we went and did a mountain board demo for like the local people at Nantes at LA. And then the next day we did a mountain board demo at the indoor skate park there, which some French YouTuber owns or something. And that was really sick, but it was like super hot. It was like 35 degrees and we're in this indoor skate park and everyone was hungover and it was gnarly. But then we camped at LA for, I don't know, maybe almost a week. And long story short, Al gave me COVID. I had COVID for the whole week I was at LA. It was horrible. I couldn't really ride. But everyone else was killing it, and it was so fun. Mail was the best and looked after us so well. And yeah, you guys got to get there because it's just like, aside from the mountain board park being awesome, it's just the coolest zone to be under the trees. And they got this huge communal table that everyone has their meals together on. And they got like an eco toilet and an eco shower, and it's so sick. And so yeah, we hung out with those guys for a week, and then we went to, and Cody was there as well, which was awesome to see him. And Ollie, oh my God, Ollie was there. I hadn't seen Ollie in 10 years. He's like one of my best mates, and that was so much fun.
We got a question from him.
I know. And so then we went from, I think we went from LA back to Paris, and we pretty much, Al is like a wine connoisseur, so a sommelier. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
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 And so we pretty much he drank just so much wine and cheese, and I drink beer, so I was just drinking beer. But we pretty much did that for a couple of days in Paris. It was ridiculous. And then we went to Compiègne, and it was the French Championships of mountain boarding. So yeah, by then I was feeling better, which was awesome. So I got to ride at the park at Compiègne, and I hadn't been there for 10 years as well. I think the last time I was there was with Tom and Twy and Mick, and it was like torrential rain, and we couldn't actually mountain board the park. So if you've seen the Rad Bag video, there's like shots of Tom and Mick like jumping off the roof of the container because we couldn't actually ride the park. So and then, you know what the funny coincidence was? I got like really sick then too. I don't really get sick, and both the times I've been in France, I've been really sick. So yeah, we did the French Championships, which was awesome to like hang out with all the French crew, and got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in years, and we had a really awesome party. Al and Mayal, which had a egg that they raised over the weekend. I don't know if you saw one of those photos. They like drew a face on it. It was their baby. It was this whole saga. I may have killed it in the end. And yeah, so we did Compiègne, and that was a lot of fun. It was really hot there too. All of Europe this year was super hot.
Yeah, massive heat wave.
Yeah. And then so we went from Compiègne to Barcelona, and yeah, we pretty much spent a couple of days in Barcelona, and yeah, just same sort of thing. Went to a bunch of fancy restaurants so Al could try all the wine, and I just went skating and checked out all like the iconic Barcelona street spots. We went to Mac Bar and a bunch of those really sick places. It was really cool to see in real life. And yeah, we went from there. I lost my passport, which was horrifying. And I got that back, and then we went to where did we go from there? Portugal. Then we went to Portugal and hung out with those guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was super sick. The Portuguese mountain boarders are the best. They are so passionate about mountain boarding. Like, it reminds me of the Japanese mountain boarders. The Japanese mountain boarders are super passionate about mountain boarding, and so are the Portuguese. There's only a few of them, but they are riding all the time.
Oh, without a doubt.
And just
there's a lot of content comes out of there, isn't there?
Yeah, totally. And all three of them are so good at mountain boarding, especially on rails. Like, they're like doing backsmiths and hurricanes and heaps of sick stuff. And they're mountain board parks in this place called Sintra, and it's in this beautiful valley that one side has a castle and a palace, and then the other side's the ocean, and then the other side's like the hills, and they're just like in this cool little valley that they've been building this spot for, I mean, Antonio will be able to tell you, but a long time. And yeah, they've built this really cool park that they ride all the time. And yeah, we spent the weekend pretty much riding there and some of the bike parks around there. And yeah, then we went into Lisbon and yeah, hung out there, went partying, and yeah, they made it such an amazing experience. And if you guys or anyone watching this is going to travel around Europe, you have to stop in Portugal, because those guys will show you a good time.
Well, Antonio does ask the question, what did you like most about Portugal? Which you've kind of given a summary of all the things that you like about Portugal there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much sick stuff. Like,
yeah, it's also asked there, if you were asked, did you live in Portugal for 6 months? Now, is that an in-joke, or I don't know whether that's lost in translation.
I'm not sure either. Maybe he's asking, would I live there? Yeah, I definitely could live there. It's such a beautiful city. It's kind of like it's very European, but it also looks like South American as well. Like they've got a lot of like old buildings, but they're all very colorful, and the people are super friendly. It's relatively cheap. The mountain boarding is good there. Antonio lives in this sick place that's really close to the beach, so we went and swam in the ocean one day, which was super cool. And he has like this. You guys have probably seen the footage, but he has like a little pump track in his backyard with a few rails, which is super rad.
Did you break it?
Yeah, I did. It was so funny. Like he has like these two sticks that come out of the rolling that you pull yourself in to get speed, and I guess I pulled too hard.
Slugs has that problem. Slugs has that problem. Our other Portuguese rider here, Filipe Vieira, or not Filipe Vieira, as the case may be. Also put in a question and says, have the little things on your trucks been helpful when grinding? Again, I don't know what he means by that.
So I don't know. Well, I guess I can talk about it, but it's another thing I've been testing out is this this idea I've had for years, and we're kind of, John and I have been developing this little accessory you put on your truck that it's going to be called a cross locker, but you slide it on the inside of your wheel on your truck, and it allows you to grind a rail and have something to lock your wheels against. So like a lot of the time when you're grinding a rail, you're doing a 50-50 on a mountain board because the trucks are so wide. And you're like you're locking in like this, but your wheel is on the rail or rubbing against the rail, which can be bad because it can get stuck and throw you off essentially. But also with these cross lockers, you can bring the surface you're grinding in. So I really need to show you that. Yeah. Essentially, like when you grind on a skateboard, you have these wheels where you can lock the rail against the wheels, and it doesn't matter because it just works. Like you can see how much I've got a grief here on my skateboard truck from doing feebles. So which is interesting because you'll see like I grind here, and then I grind, if I'm doing a 50-50, I grind here. So it's actually on a cross angle is how I balance and how most people balance. So these little cross lockers go on the mountain board truck like here and here, and then allows you to lock against a piece of steel and have more balance and bring the grinding area in so it's more over your board rather than being out super wide, if that makes sense.
Yeah, bring it straight down the line of the center of gravity.
Yeah. So the little cross lockers, you can adjust them so you can have them out here or in here or close. And obviously the closer you have it to your kingpin, the more balance you have. So and then you can also, like if you grind a ledge or whatever, the top of it's grindable as well. So anyway, it's something I've been testing out last year or so, and it was going to be a secret, but here we go. I just told you everything about it.
If you want,
I think it's let
me know. We can chop it out if you want, mate. It's not a problem.
Nah, it's all good. But it's going to change the way you can grind a rail, and you're going to be able to 50-50 or Smith or whatever and be able to grind for a lot longer because you're going to be able to lock your trucks in correctly now. And not, I've been filming a video about it. I'll be able to explain it better in the video, but that will come out soon. It's still prototype,
in a future Warren Weekly or something.
Exactly.
We're keeping a beady eye out for them on your trucks in future as well.
Exactly.
Now, next one, again, I need to make another apology to Hash Rhodes, because yet again we've already covered the topic a little bit here on these questions. It says, for our mate down under, as often as your hat flies off of your magnificent head, why not a chin strap? You rock the Heelys. Why not the chinnies? Love your style, bug. Keep it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
calling
dude,
out
I'm
for
waiting
it,
for someone to make me one. I know I need it. Why isn't
You
anyone
know,
made me one yet? I don't know.
I
Oh, just-
actually, I'm gonna. I think I've got one in my kitchen. Send me your after here, and I'll send you it over. I was saving it for my brother's stag do, but he's already married now, so I forgot to do it. So it's in there because as a kid, when I would have been about 10 and he would have been about 5, or maybe he was a bit older. He was chasing me on the bikes, and apparently I cut him up, and he fell over and smashed his chin open, and he's never let me forget about it. So
That's like,
Stag do he was going to have a little chin strap on just so that I couldn't damage him too much. But I'll send it
That's
your
awesome.
way.
Sick.
Until then, just put a bit of gaffer tape around you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And we have managed to work our way through them. The last question
Sick.
comes in from your.
Oh my god, a bird just flew into my window.
Oh no.
Sorry, he survived. He's all good.
Now, unfortunately, Ollie was actually going to try and join us tonight. As a
no way.
little cameo, but he's been unable to. I did send him the link, and I said, look, you know where we are. If you get the chance, come and join us at any time. But obviously,
Sick.
that has not happened. So I'll ask you his question. And it is, what is the weirdest product you've either tried to get sponsored by or has tried to sponsor you? Now, because we've got a good one that's been knocking around in the UK this year.
Oh, really?
Has Eamon told you about this one?
I don't know.
Eamon was in the running for a pile cream advert.
A what?
Hemorrhoids.
Oh,
that's awesome.
it wasn't for hemorrhoids, it was for just itchy, flaky skin, wasn't it?
Oh, itchy, flaky skin. Oh, I thought it was hemorrhoids. My bad.
It does sound better as hemorrhoids.
Wow.
Itchy, flaky skin cream wanted a mountain boarder. I don't know whether he did it or not, or what. Yeah.
He should have.
Time will tell. What was your weirdest one? Or
I don't know if I've had anything that weird. I get companies like hitting me up all the time wanting to just do random shit. Yeah, I think I've had like skincare companies hit me up. Yeah, nothing really that stands out. Yeah, I mean, I definitely say no to a lot, but I try and do a lot of them. Like, yeah, it's a good way to. Well, it's a good way to like get mountain boarding shown in different demographics of people, but it's also a good way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to turn mountain boarding into your job and be a pro mountain boarder or whatever, like, that's a good avenue to explore because these companies have bigger budgets than mountain board companies to allow you to make content. So
that's it.
Exactly that.
Yeah, and Tony Hawk's wouldn't be a multi-millionaire now if he didn't get involved with computer games.
Totally. And Tony Hawk did so many commercials and collaborations with huge companies. He did stuff with McDonald's, and I either listened to or read something about his sort of approach to all that stuff, and he said yes to the majority of them because he knew in his core, like, people like thought bad of him because he was like looked at as selling out to McDonald's and whatever, but he always made it abundantly clear to these companies that he had creative control of how skateboarding was perceived and how it looked. So he always used these big opportunities to project skateboarding out to the masses, and I think he did that really well.
Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
Like he obviously come under a bit of fire over the years for as so I said, like that selling out kind of thing. But bottom line is, if you're a skateboarder and you're riding your skateboard and you're at the top of the game, who the fuck is anyone to tell you what you are and what you aren't? You know what you are, you know, like,
exactly.
And if you've got skills to play and you've got kids to feed and,
Mouths to feed.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you do what you do, and you do the best you can, and that's what he's done. And fair play to him, and fair play to you for doing what you do. Like it takes a special kind of person to put themselves out in that limelight, for fear of rejection, fear of people taking the piss or whatever and stuff like that. But the reality is, for certainly for us in the community, you're doing a fucking stellar job, mate. You're doing a stellar job.
Thank you.
And we can only hope that we can reach the same amount of people and have the same effect that you do. But keep it going.
Yeah, for sure. You guys will definitely will. It's just, you got to learn as you go, and you got to research how things work, and just slowly but surely, it's like mountain boarding. You just got to take it every day as it comes, and just every day get 10% better.
Yeah, keep plodding through.
Yeah. But the whole Tony Hawk thing's super interesting, and it's cool. Like in the moment, back in the 80s and 90s and 2000s, like people were giving him hell and calling him a sellout. But retrospectively, as people look back on what he's done, they can appreciate what he has done.
Yeah,
which is interesting to think about.
Yeah, I think the only fly in the ointment of that story for me, and being an Aussie, you might know a bit about it, was the twins, not the twins, the brothers.
Oh,
the Pappas brothers. That's it.
Oh.
And that whole X Games sort of, I don't know what controversy of. I mean, they were crazy lads anyway, so you don't know whether they might not have even been allowed in the country, But that's the only downside, of the little fly in the ointment for his story from my point of view, because I think the guy's incredible for what he's done for skateboarding.
It's funny you say that. I was at the skate park last week, and Taz Pappas was there coaching some kids, so I was mountain boarding while he was skating. It was pretty funny. But he I mean, I don't know if anyone watching this has seen the documentary on Taz Pappas and how he essentially tries to call out Tony Hawk for ruining his career, and how it should have been him and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know how much truth there is to his story. He was pretty fucked up, like on drugs and alcohol.
He wasted when he moved to his career.
He was loose. Yeah. It's pretty sad, really. I think he threw away his career by making that documentary. Like, I
don't think it helped his corner in any way.
Nah, I think he was like trying to get some press out of it and get more attention on him, but I think it pushed everyone away from him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I think, like you said, it maybe if the pair of them had been clear-headed at the time when all that was going on, then there would have been room for them all. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's been room for everybody.
It's just people's egos, man. People's egos are just something else. And I mean, I don't know what the truth of it is. I don't know if Tony was right or Taz was right. I don't know. But unfortunately, when there's money and wealth and influence and celebrity, like both of those people had all of that, and their egos were so huge, it just created this mess. And life doesn't need to be like that.
Thankfully, me and Slogs get on, so there's no, there's never any chance of.
Hasn't been a mutiny yet.
All
right, next question. Let's go.
No, I think.
Oh, that was the last question.
That was the last question. Yeah.
Sick. Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much done. For this episode, unless there was anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't covered, because I know we did briefly touch on a few bits in there, but was there anything there that you could remember?
Well, I guess I kind of got to go through Europe and go back to England, which was awesome to catch up with everyone in England. And it was so good to see everyone after 10 years. Like it's wild. Like last time I was there, Reece didn't have a kid, and now he has a kid. Dave's got a couple of them. Like everyone, it's so cool to see everyone go full circle and to see people get back into mountain boarding like those dudes. And it was really awesome to see so many people add bugs for the UK championships, and it was such a vibe. I hate the word vibe, but it really was. Everyone was having such a good time. There was so many people who came back into the sport. I'm sure you guys, know better than anyone. That was, I don't know how much time you guys have, but that was something I kind of wanted to talk about. I got to leave in 20 minutes, but I didn't really get to ask this question when I was in England, but something I wanted to ask the English mountain boarders is, why do you think, where did it sort of fall off in terms of popularity in mountain boarding in England? Like, what do you think the issue was? And part two of the question is, why do you think people are getting back into it? Because it was obviously like the biggest at one point, early 2000s, or sort of, well, I guess it was 2005 to 2012, call it. England had the biggest mountain board scene with the most centers. What do you think changed? Why do you think it started declining?
We've talked about this a number of times over the sort of episodes, and obviously the one thing that we've sort of come to realize is that a lot of it is opinion based. But for my 2 cents worth, 2008 was a big bust in the financial world, wasn't it? Around the world. And it's my belief that there were quite a lot of people involved in pushing the sport at that time who were entrepreneurs. And when it ceased to be a viable option for them for potentially profit in the future, or the growth started to slow or anything, they went, right, I'm taking, that's it, I'm folding. That's me done. That coupled with the invent of, or the rise in video gaming, things like Minecraft and Fortnite and all that sort of gubbins would have started around the early teens, the early 20 teens, and has obviously rocketed. The popularity of esports now, geez, how many people, how many video game personalities are there on YouTube? That does seem to be so much bigger.
As for people like sort of leaving the sport and coming back, because you got no fresh blood coming through, had you? Because it just sort of waded away. But I think people left mainly to get married, have kids, and then once your kids have grown up a bit more, and you've got a bit more time on your hands, you go back to what you love.
Do you think people were not? Do you think new kids weren't getting into it because A, there wasn't enough media and stuff? B, do you think there wasn't enough events? Or C, do you think, or a combination? Or C, do you think kids in that time period were more interested in video games and they just simply weren't interested in action sports? What do you sort of, from what you said?
To a certain extent, I reckon.
Yeah. They're all gonna have factors involved in that. Look, we come, and obviously I'm probably almost 20 years older than you did, but I kind of regard you in this subcategory. Like, we come from a potentially a slightly different generation where it was that pre-electronic entertainment where we were used to going out on the bike, or you grew up as a kid in your
building a ramp in your front garden.
or and putting them bricks under a bit of plywood and, doing your jumps on your skateboard and stuff like that, where I don't know, that doesn't seem the thing. I don't see many kids doing that these days. I don't see many. I live on a cul-de-sac, so there's no through traffic. I see one kid playing football out around the garages from time to time, but I don't see any kids like just playing curb.
I've got something for you.
Go on.
I just had a kid message me on Instagram yesterday. Just bought his first mountain board, and he's from Cornwall.
No way.
Fuck yeah.
yeah. I'll see if I can find his thing. But,
that's Cornwall, UK, not Cornwall, Tasmania.
yeah, Cornwall, where you guys are from. Austin, is it Austin? Austin Rowe. Austin Rowe, if you're watching this, mate, these two guys are from Cornwall.
Hey, he might be heir to the Rose Pasty fortune.
Oh,
wow. Those pasties are so good. Wow,
yeah.
so good. So if there's anyone in Cornwall and they want to go take this kid mountain boarding, Austin_Rowe, ROWEE.
Yeah.
Then if you're listening, get in touch in the comments below. Get in touch and
make sure you like it as well.
Yeah, like it, dude. Share it. Sorry, I totally cut you off, but I was excited because I'm like, I knew you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. Me and Slug, Beeren, we're all sort of in a triangle of Cornwall. So between the three of us, one of us will be close or reasonably close to him.
Because I was telling him, like, some of the best mountain boarders in the world have come from Cornwall, and you're in the zone, dude.
Hey, that you say that could potentially be one of the reasons for the slight tapering off of popularity. The UK's biggest export at around that time was Tommy Kay. With his injury and subsequent retiring. It certainly left a bit of a void in the scene,
Totally. Because I think he stopped doing events, and then he was putting out heaps of footage, which was amazing. And then I guess the footage stopped, and then I guess normal, everyday English mountain boarders maybe lost the motivation to go ride because there wasn't that constant media feed to inspire them to go riding. So it goes full circle, like doing this Warren Weekly stuff, doing the Dirt podcast. Like, people need to support it, because that's what gets you off the couch, is because you watch these people that you like and they inspire you to go mountain boarding. If you want to keep the stoke going, you need to support it.
Completely. I like the way you did that there, Dylan. I like the way you did that.
I know, it's good, isn't it?
That's come full circle. And use this stoke if you've made it this far through an episode of, well, you're here for Dylan. Let's be honest. You're not here for us guys. No, if you make it this far, then fuck me. Use that same motivation to get up off that couch and go and ride for half an hour. You could have had an hour worth of riding. Film it and send it in for
that's my whole thing with Warren Weekly, is showing people that you can just go to a local park. You don't need an amazing mountain board park or a mountain bike track. You don't need a fucking sick facility to mountain board. All you need is a slight incline in your imagination. And the reason why you're going to, like, you can just go and ride and practice how to do an ollie, practice how to do a switch ollie, but make sure it's good. Learn how to do 360s, learn how to nose roll. And even if you do that for half an hour a day, you're going to get, and if you do that for a year, you're going to be fucking amazing. Like, I did this challenge like 2 years ago for myself, where I did a 360 every day for a month, like without fail. I had to go and do it. And that made me so much better at 360s. But it's just that accountability of mountain boarding every day, I think, is so important. Like, I see so many people just mountain board 5 times a year at events or demos or whatever, but you can ride all the time. You just gotta make it happen. Use these things to motivate you. Go out and do it. Film it. And that's what I was saying in the Warren Weekly videos. Like, like you're filming yourself not because you love yourself or anything like that, because you're filming yourself to watch yourself back and understand what your body's doing and how you can learn from it and get better. But then also if you post it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, then other riders can watch your footage and you can have a conversation and it will get you inspired to make more and continue more. And then that is just a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Everyone gets stoked.
So quickly. It would happen so quickly as well.
Yeah.
You imagine
if you want to become big on social media, post one mountain board video every day and you'll get that. It's just the consistency.
Oh, do you want to read out the email address again to send the clips to?
It's social@mbs.com.
Nice. Alex Beatrix, get that fucking clip that I just showed over to Dylan.
I don't know. I've seen some good ones. I've got a bunch of emails actually last week, which I was excited about. A lot of people have submitted clips, so there's, it's a bit of competition.
That's good if you're getting stuff from the UK. That's good for the off season because it is fucking cold and we have had a month of rain. So
yeah. Well, that's the challenge too. Like, I want to see people riding in winter. A lot of people just ride in summer, especially in America. Like, they snowboard during the summer, but you can I mountain board all year round. Melbourne has really shit weather in Melbourne. Like, we have the worst, but I still mountain board because I love it. And even if you just do nose manuals on the road, just do something.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah. So anyway, back to our original conversation is, I guess there's all these things that happened and it kind of the scene dropped off. But the second question is, why are people coming back in? Do you think it's because for me, looking at from afar, I think it has a lot to do with this podcast. People are remembering how fun it is. Like, their friends are on the show and damn, we had so many good times doing this sport.
I mean,
are they contributing? What do you think
some
that
of
is?
that? There's definitely, we have, without sounding big-headed, we have helped to get some people back on board.
Totally.
Dave and the BFC boys.
That put a smile on my face for about 3 weeks afterwards, and I found out the boys are riding again just because.
Oh my god, me too. Yeah.
Seriously,
they're the best.
So I definitely think that there's some of that, but it's not. We're not doing it alone. Like we said with Eamon and Emlyn, even before the announcement of their on the team as such.
Oh yeah,
they're prolific at putting out content, and there are a few other.
Well, that's why they got on the team.
Yeah, like Ash Mulholland with AT Borders, has reprised AT Borders over the last year, and I don't know. I think the efforts of a few are helping to stoke the fires of a lot more, and it's just exactly what you're describing, Dylan. That snowboard, a few people are putting a little bit of effort. I put in a little bit of effort into doing this. I mean, it feels more of a privilege a lot of the time than an effort for me doing this, but
totally.
That little bit, that spark has helped to. Okay, so I'm one person. If we just take Dave Compton and Reece Crilly alone, that's two people. They've now come back into it, and they've put on a BFC Dream Teas event with Emlyn, and that has brought back at least 4 new riders. So that's doubling every time, and that's just taking 2. So it is that snowball effect, and if more people put in more effort into it, we'll see rewards far quicker. Bottom line,
I want to see a bit of a mentality shift too. I feel like I see a lot of people saying, oh, back in the day it was so much more popular and there was so many things going on and blah blah blah, having to sook and whinging about what it used to be and something like that. But I want to see the conversation shift to looking towards the future and how they can build to do something bigger and better than that. I think mountain boarding is in a really good spot at the moment in comparison to what it has been, and it's we're growing again. It's going up, and this is the time where everyone needs to pull their weight and work as a team to really push this in a positive direction, and push it in a cool direction too, where it's like people from outside of mountain boarding in other action sports too, which is the niche I'm kind of focusing on, is trying to make mountain boarding look good and look cool, and people from other sports like skateboarding and snowboarding can get involved too. And I think that's really important.
Well, you're
just trying to show it in a cool way.
You've definitely been doing that with your work with Braille and bless him, Ricky. Those Braille videos there are always entertaining. Aaron seems such a goofball.
He is.
A better term.
But like Aaron, there's Aaron on the internet, and then Aaron as a person, and Aaron as a person is just like us. He's like so in tune with like the core of skateboarding, and he really loves skateboarding. He's a fantastic skateboarder, but that's just his thing that he can project to it. Like Braille do get a bad rap from the core skating industry for being a little bit goofy, a little bit whatever, a little bit kid focused, but their thing is like, we just want people to get into skateboarding. We want as many people to get into skateboarding, and this is the way we do it, and we do it well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to be learned from them, I think.
Oh, definitely. Well, keep up appearances with them, and keep up appearances.
Yeah. And Aaron's sick at mountain boarding too, and he likes it. So like, we're gonna get him aboard, and he's gonna start mountain boarding, which is really awesome because he's a really, really good snowboarder. I think he used to be sponsored for snowboarding.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, he had like a full street part and stuff on YouTube. Like, it's quite old, but he's really good at it.
Oh, I'm gonna go and investigate that one, because I love snowboarding. I have to say, it's the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, and that, because I don't do surfing, skateboarding, snowboarding, mountain boarding.
Yeah, I get that question all the time. Like, oh, so you must surf a lot because you're Australian. I'm like, I spend so much time doing all these other things. I can't really justify driving an hour to the beach when I can just go mountain boarding and do what I really like to do instead. Like, I enjoy surfing, but it's just, it's a whole other thing. So,
listen, dude, we've been cracking on there for a little bit of time. It is getting rather late here. I know Slogs is up early there, and I'm gonna have to get my head down soon as well. I hope that
it's a school night as well.
It was really good. But as always, I could say with every guest, the time goes too quickly for me to feel like, I could carry on for hours, but I think I was injected with a gramophone needle when I was a kid. But yeah,
I guess we can always do a part 2, and I can tell you guys about the American stuff, because there's a lot in there as well, and I got to meet up with a lot of really influential people who really are stoked on mountain boarding.
Yeah, we really didn't touch the American leg of your journey at all, so let's definitely mark that in.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah. But I guess I just want to say, if you guys want to see more content, make sure you check out the Warren Weekly stuff. Today I just posted my new video of me driving around Australia in Lemmy the van. I'm actually going to be posting once a week on my own personal channel as well. I've got so much footage from all my travels in this and around Europe and America. It's just like all I do is edit at the moment. It's insane. So hopefully I'll be posting once a week on MBS and then once a week on my personal channel. So if you guys want to check that out, my channel's Dylan Warren. So that'll be awesome. Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say too, maybe we can save it for another podcast, but we're building a public mountain board park here in Melbourne next year. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's not like a private property. It's like a skate park where anyone can come and mountain board at a mountain board park. So I don't know if you guys got time to dive into that, or we can do it another time, but it's pretty exciting.
No, I'm happy. Well, I'm happy to dive in.
Let's get involved in that. You kept that pretty quiet.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's kind of has to do with what I was talking about before about the Beaconsfield bashes we used to do and all those grassroots sort of things. It kind of started because I built this huge park next door to my parents' house out of pallets and recycled timber. It was ridiculous at the end of it, and we used to ride there every day after work and stuff. Um, and I had an agreement with the guy who owned the property that I was allowed to do it if I like maintained the thing. So I was essentially mowing his block for free, and he didn't have to go down there and maintain it, except I just had my ramps and shit there. So it's fine. It was like allowed and whatever. And then these events blew up, and someone complained about the park, and essentially the council tried to fine me $100,000 unless I destroyed it. It was ridiculous. So I had to pull it down, and I was so pissed off because the landowner allowed me to do it, but the council came up with some whole other thing. But yeah, that they were like, you can't do it. And so I was like, fuck this. I like went to the local news and carried on. And at the time I had a coffee combi van business where I was making coffee in the local area. And so I started a petition and had the petition at the combi, and everyone in the local area signed this petition, and I had it online as well. So I ended up getting like 300 signatures to say that this was wrong, and the council need to create a place for mountain boarders to use in the local area. And at the time we were getting the skate park built in the local area. So I'm like, oh, perfect. They're going to build the skate park. They're going to excavate, use all the dirt, and build just a little mountain board park next to it. And I only just wanted like a couple little jumps that we could practice on after work, something very low key. And so I got all the signatures. I made a big proposal and pitched to the council. It wasn't even big, like anyone could do this. And so that kind of opened up the conversation with them. And I was like, we could just build this little thing on the oval, and everyone can use it, and it's great. And the issue with council is there's so much fucking red tape and bullshit you got to go through. But we got really lucky, and they're like, oh, it's not really going to work at that site because we've got it zoned for something else. But we are going to be building this new recreation reserve in another town, which is 5 minutes away. And so they're like, oh, there's a hill there. I don't know if that would work for you guys. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'll go check it out. So I went and looked at it, and it's quite a steep slope, but a mountain board park could completely work there. So this conversation kind of went on for a couple of years, and it kind of grew and grew. And during lockdown, we kind of got the green light that they're going to build this public mountain board park on this reserve. It's going to be like a $10 million reserve that has a full mountain board park with a freestyle board across track, skate park, dog walking trails, like a gym, playgrounds, a cafe. Like it's this huge new reserve, and the mountain boarding is going to be a part of it. And it's actually going to be starting construction next year. And I, through all the COVID lockdowns, I actually designed all the mountain board features
Nice.
for a civil engineering mob. So I full designed an entire mountain board park, and hopefully it'll start construction early next year. And it's going to be the first, well, it's not the first, but it's going to be the only public mountain board facility in Australia. And the actual mountain board park is going to cost like something like $1 million or like a lot. So it's going to be a huge, huge thing. And I'm just blown away, really. Like, I don't feel like I haven't said anything because I still don't feel like it's going to happen. But like in all the drawings is the mountain board park, but then there's also things like they're going to build us a club room where we can have club meetings for mountain boarding Victoria, with a toilet block and a viewing area and a barbecue area. And at the top of the hill, there's like a little seating area where everyone can stretch in, and we can have a little mountain board school and look over the park. And then so you ride down to the bottom of the hill, and then you get on a boardwalk, you walk back up the boardwalk and walk up the stairs, and then you can lap it. So I've designed like an open grass area for mountain board lessons, and then there's like 3 stages of a freestyle line, and then on the other side there's a full board across track. So it's like a very progressive design, and it's designed so people can take it step by step and get better at mountain boarding. And it also be used for bikes, which was the whole pitch everyone can use, but it's predominantly going to be, it was designed for mountain boarding that bikers can use. Normally it's the other way around, where they build a bike park and we have to adapt to that. Well, I've done the opposite and designed it all for mountain boarding, so you don't have to pedal, you can pump everything, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be really cool, and I really hope it all works out the way I want it to.
Well done, man.
So,
a lot of effort went in, but you've
it was 5 years.
That's a long game as well.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that had to do with COVID and all that sort of stuff. It was meant to be finished now, but I guess, you know, the takeaway for people is just try, just fucking try. No one else. I've said this for years. No one else. You can't wait for a mountain board company to sponsor you, or you can't wait for a mountain board company to put on a competition or an event or give you money. You know, if you want to make a career out of mountain boarding, or you just want things to happen in mountain boarding, you have to be the person to do it. No one else is going to do it for you. So you need to go out to the council or whatever your local government is and say, hey, I'm a mountain boarder. Do a petition and say, all these people want this facility. Like, that's how it works to get a toilet block built in your local town or a library or whatever. It's just like you have the power. Just try. And if you don't try and it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. At least you tried. Just write the email.
Yeah. Wise words,
I
man.
hear you, brother.
Anyway, so next year hopefully it'll be built and I'll be able to do it. Show you guys more about that. And then eventually, if we do the World Championships again, there will be 2 mountain board parks that you'll be able to visit. And that's what I was hoping, like, if we did the championships this year, I was hoping to have this park built as well so we could ride both of them, but it didn't work out.
Well, that's a shame. It just means more for us to ride when we do all eventually get out there.
Well, that's like kind of the blessing in disguise is like, you know, eventually when we do it, there'll be these 2 amazing facilities that you can ride at.
I was so close to persuading the wife as well. I reckon.
Hey, you still can come.
Exactly. All I've done is just more time to sow the seed.
Come and do some mountain board demos next year with us in Alice Springs. That'd be pretty epic.
That would be pretty epic. Right then, gents. I'm going to cut it off there if that's all right with you all.
Perfect.
Sounds good to me, man. Thank you very much, Dylan. Really appreciate it. Always
good to see you guys again.
Yeah, indeed.
Hopefully we can catch up again next year.
Yeah, man, we'll give you a couple of months to build up a saga's worth of episode to talk about, and we need to retouch on the American leg of your world trip. But yeah, keep it steezy, brother. Keep the effort up because we're loving it. We're going to keep the effort up.
Awesome.
I'll get out and get you a clip for my intro into Rider of the Week at some point soon. You
guys could do a segment on it.
Now I know that you want. So he's wanting unique. He's wanting street stuff. I've been taking notes here of what I need.
Doesn't have to be street stuff. Just has to be anything. Just do anything.
I've got a cool little reservoir not too far from my house that is dry most of the time. I reckon that can there's some stuff in there to be ridden. Look, gents, have a great evening. Dylan, have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Speak to you all soon.
No worries.
Later.
Hey guys, don't forget to comment and subscribe to the Dirt if you want to see more.
That's it. And Dylan and MVS Mountain Boards.
Oh yeah.
Commenting on the Warren Weekly. See you all soon.
Love you guys. See ya. Bye.
Way aye, man. That was dead canny as out, that like. Cheers for tuning out to listen. Now, before you gan yem, don't forget, if you want to keep getting doing with the Dirty Dirt fun, like and subscribe. Get amongst it. Shy Ben's getting out.